God bless you, my sisters and brother. Lucy here. I remember I had a passage of my life history, and I was recording about my life history, and I didn't finish because I got lazy, yes, or maybe discouraged, or maybe afraid, because I was asking God, why do I have to tell people about my life history? I don't want to do it. But the Lord told me, I'm not telling you to do it for your own glory. Anything you want to do for your own glory, think about when you want to do it and how you want to do it. But when it's on my own glory, you have to do it anyway. So I have to finish because God has not called me to the power of shipwrecking or crashing on the way. He called me to the power of finishing. When I say I'm called to the power of finishing, it's because the Bible says that. He talks about my beginning when holding my head. God cannot speak something that he know that he will start and stop it on the way. So if you don't finish what you started, then you don't have the power of finishing. So what I was, the last episode was how God delivered me from the power of darkness, and I was held captive for a very long time. Let me say from the day I was born, or maybe from the day I was 3, I have been held by the power of witchcraft and being sold out to the devil, worshipping and becoming like almost an agent, because sometimes I will tell you in this episode, and God taught me how to break every soul tie and come out of those bondages, and break those snakes out of my life. And I'm so grateful because God told me, post and wait until I tell you to post the Saudi Arabian section, because this is a Saudi Arabian section which I thought that I'll never see the sun again, or maybe I'll not be a human being again, because what I'm going to tell you, listen and check your spirit. Maybe this one will help you how to break out of the soul tie. I left the episode when the life was difficult for me to stay in the country, because my husband was married to a woman who was about to finish me. And I have a spiritual mother who told me, get out of the country, because now people are going to Saudi Arabia and go there in search of money. I remember I come and I was not taken immediately. You said in the episode 5 that I stayed for 3 weeks, and when my sponsor came for me, I was taken to their home, where I met the Indonesians. In one way or another, I will teach you something. Spiritual people, they don't fight with flesh and blood. They fight with the principalities of the air. Anything that can swing on the air or can stay on the air, that is spiritual. So if you have this spiritual warfare all the time in your life, you are spiritual. And God cannot allow you to something that does not match your position. So that's why every time you go through a witch or near a witch or an Illuminati member, they will try to hex you, curse you, put you in incantation, take you to the witch doctor. Because when you step somewhere and God has clothed you in the power of breaking loose the people from the power of darkness, every demon, when they see you, they start getting provoked and they start waging war. The difference of us and Jesus, because you remember when Jesus was walking and Sometimes when he will walk or go somewhere, demons will start talking from people, or maybe try to provoke him. But when they try to attack, they see, oh no, this is fire. They will say, oh, we know you are the Son of God. A demon has to do something in one way or another. For Jesus, they couldn't attack him because one thing, he was the Son of God, he was sanctified, he was full of righteousness. But for me, I was attacked and hexed because I was full of myself. And sometimes things do happen, and I remember the Holy Spirit telling me that I put you through things. It is me, I put you through them, knowing that you don't have power to fight them. Because I remember when I read in the book of Job, before he used to be a good man, and he go to church and he sacrificed for the Lord. But there was a season that came to bring out the righteousness out of him. And that moment, if God does not intervene, you can die in the process. Because I remember everything that happened to him. Before, when he's speaking his passage, he say, oh, friends used to come in my house, I used to eat with them. Yeah, he used to solve the problem of friends being many in his house, but he couldn't solve the problem of demon being many in his life. So what I'm trying to say is that when I come to the Indonesians, they started bewitching me. And because I told you before, I had I'm sensitive, because spiritual people, they have this character, they are so sensitive. If you are spiritual and you are not sensitive, I'm not sure about you. Because spiritual people are the people who are just, their mind are somewhere, they are looking at another direction, but they are reading the atmosphere. One thing about me, Lucy, I'm sensitive. Because when I read the Bible, I see even Jesus was sensitive. He knew when people are gossiping and murmuring about him in their spirit, and he could speak it as if it is, as if they have already spoken it out of their mouth. So I was so sensitive, and I started hearing the Holy Spirit telling me that these Indonesians are witch. And I was asking God, is there any place I will go and not find a witch? And God did not answer me, because sometimes question we ask God, we don't get answers immediately. We have to go through something so that when we go through it, God will give us the answers, and then we will celebrate our pain. Sometimes it's very hard for you to celebrate your pain when you're undergoing through it. I was sitting down and thinking about a cake. When you want to make a cake, you use milk, flour, baking powder, and anything you want to put in it. But I don't see you sitting down and start eating baking powder before the whole thing is mixed. Actually, if you eat baking powder, it can make your stomach bloated. So this mixture has to go together, because the Bible says all things works for good for those who trust in God. All this mix of sometimes crying too much, sometimes people hating you and rejecting you for nothing, and throwing stones and finding yourself being thrown up aside by people without understanding why they are doing the thing they are doing to you. This is a mix of your righteousness, which is about to come to your way. Because even Job was rejected by his own friends. That is one of ingredients in the mix of righteousness. Stones being thrown to you, people trying to kill you, people judging you, people thinking that you are acting weird. Even, if somebody has been hexed, one thing I will tell you for real, the spirit of confusion and depression is too much on them. That's one thing I will tell you. And most of the time, because people, they don't understand them, they misjudge them and call them lunatics, and tell them they are stupid and all sorts of things. But they don't understand this is part of ingredient. It has to be mixed together to pull your righteousness. Sometimes righteousness does not come easy. It comes through pain. So, I was talking about Indonesians. I remember my boss, my sponsor, was a woman. She told me, Lucy, because I like you and you are light skinned, because before I brought a Kenyan who was black and the kids said they don't want her. I want you to stay with the kids. So I remember when I started staying with the kids, there was this girl, her firstborn. She would see me and have a very difficult time. Sometimes crying. Sometimes I sleep next to her and she will say, fire, fire, Yani. It's like she was sleeping near me and I would start burning. And when she turned around, she would say, Mommy, Lucy, she is fire. And because I was stupid still enough to understand what that family was, I started thinking that somebody has put me in the spirit of rejection, so now nobody wants me. And I go through a very difficult time in that house, because I remember, I'll go back through a little bit. When I entered their home, that first day, because I remember it was on 21st, it was on 13th day, 13th of May. I remember when I went, my sponsor took me upstairs, because they have a very big home, a huge mansion, family home. And I remember she told her mother, Father. And when a Saudi asks Father, you're asking, what about this one? All that time I didn't understand their mother was a witch. Actually, a very great witch, because I will tell you the great things she did to me and what she tried to do. And her mother look at me and she make. But I remember that night when I go to sleep, because I remember our agent told us that Saudi Arabians are God-fearing people. They cannot do this and that. So I was convinced that there is nothing like witchcraft, and I'm happy and I'm okay. But I'm this person who is, sometimes I fight too much with God. Sometimes I used to, but as much as I am going on knowing God, I don't fight anymore. Even if I delay, I don't say no. So I remember the Holy Spirit telling me, wake up and pray and cast out the demonic spirit. And I remember I had this handkerchief from my spiritual mother, and I was told to use to stay with it, but I ignored. That night, as I started getting sleepy, I saw a snake, a very huge snake, like it's little because I was not sleeping. It was a vision, a cobra, very big snake coming and towards me, saying that he want to introduce me to the family. But the angel of the Lord was so quick, and he come and said to me, Lucy, rise up and pray, because the Spirit has come to introduce itself to you. That is when I realized that family is not good. And then I will go back to my sponsor house, because her mother was living upstairs and she was living downstairs. And I started having a very difficult time. But I didn't know that I was still small spiritually to understand some things, and nobody taught me how things spiritually go and how you can deal with the spiritual things when you are near the witches, or maybe they throw you out. Because I remember there is one family member who used to throw me out of her house whenever she see me, and she used to be a witch. She told me, don't ever come back in my home. And I didn't know why, but I knew that I was spiritual. So when you go to somebody who has witchcraft, the spirit starts gravitating to you, trying to attack you. But when they come to you, the Lord who is in you, because there is these things I have come to realize about God, is that when he brought his people from heaven that he has ordained for himself, he sacrificed them. So every time a demon tries to attack you, you are already sacrificed. And let me tell you, an Illuminati member or witchcraft or Masonic cannot kill somebody who is not spiritual. Because most of the times they kill those people who are spiritual when they stay in rebellion, or maybe they don't understand they are God. That is when God will let the enemy finish them. Because you see in the Bible, when God was with the children of Israel in the wilderness, he let the death strike on them because of rebellion. So if you rebel and you are spiritual, and God has let somebody hex you, because sometimes it's God. Nothing happened without God knowing. I remember I had a very difficult time in that house. And I came to realize that every Wednesday they have to meet. And I asked God, what is this meeting about? I remember I started talking to God since I was a teenager. Sometimes I would stay in him, sometimes out of him, because it was how it was then. And I asked God, what is this? And I had the Holy Spirit telling me, it is called demonic high table. And I want you to destroy it, because I would see people, when they give birth, they will bring the bed of their baby in that house, and that woman will do some sacrifices and then take the bed of a small baby to them. And I was not understanding why. Or maybe sometimes in that family there was a piece of cloth. A baby will walk around with a piece of cloth holding like that. And when I ask them, what is this? They will say it's called shalshaf. Ask, what is shalshaf? It's kind of a god. A baby is holding a piece of nasty clothes. And if you dare wash that cloth, that kid will cry all the time until that cloth dry up. Or come back to you and ask you, where is my shalshaf? All of them had, from small to big. And that is when I started knowing, why is God telling me to demolish that high table? I started praying God and telling God, if this high table has something to do with the sacrificing or human sacrifice, I destroy it to be held here and let them not come here anymore. I remember they started coming, one person, two person, and started going to the mall instead of coming to their mother. And this woman, I think she realized I'm fighting with her, because I started fighting for real with her. I remember one time I went to sleep, after a hard time, she used to use me so badly. I remember she used to take a full bowl of Clorox and put some Ditro Omo on it and tell me, don't you dare put some water on that thing. And because I was afraid, and you know the stories about Saudi Arabia, if you disobey, they kill you. That was looming in my mind, being killed. I couldn't dare disobey her. And then I started getting sick. And in the midst of that time, she couldn't feed me. So you imagine you're getting sick because of inhaling the Clorox. And at the same time, you're not eating. So you can imagine that sicknesses. And I started cracking my fingers, cracking. I remember when I go to sleep, I would put a fan near me, and I would sleep. Anyways, I'm sleeping, but the fan is blowing wind on my hand because I couldn't sleep. My hand was cracked. Blood was flowing because of the Clorox. And I remember I would tell my sponsor to buy me Vaseline. She would tell me tomorrow. But I didn't know there was a plan between her and her mother to make a blood sacrifice for me. But I remember back in Kenya, before I go to Saudi Arabia, before I come to Saudi Arabia, I remember seeing myself in uniform. There was one thing I didn't like in my life, like being a house girl or house help. But that is what happened. Because I saw myself in the year 2006, back then, 2006, 2007, but in between there, wearing a brown checked uniform with a woman standing on my back, blocking my way, and her daughter. But I couldn't understand what is going on. But what amazed me, the woman I saw, she looked like a Hindi. Because Arabs, they look like Hindi. I never met Arabs before. So when I saw, I said, where will I meet Hindi and wearing uniform as a maid? But when I come in Saudi Arabia, look at that woman, I saw, this is the woman. So when I started getting sick and seeing my sponsor, how she's behaving and telling her mother, I'm complaining, I'm always sick. Her mother will say, kariha, leave her. And I started getting sick. And I remember in that sickness, I would go to the corridor. There was a corridor. I would pray and lay and like 1 hour. And things started getting worse in that woman's life. Sometimes I will, for real, I will wrestle with her because I see now do or die, because I started getting a hard time telling them, taking back to my country, because Indonesians are giving me hard time, telling me, you don't belong here, you cannot work here, like this. This is my sponsor's mother giving me a very difficult time. And this is my sponsor. She just brought me there and she forget me and go. So I was just surviving because, you know, as Kenyans, we are survivors. You can stay somewhere, nobody's feeding you, but you're still eating. Don't ask me how, because I used to steal food. If they tell me don't eat the food in the fridge, I'll make sure I eat, and I make the food look like nobody has eaten it. So that was my surviving style. She thought she would kill me with hunger, but I was getting fat. So I remember I started wrestling and she started getting sick. I remember one day we went to the beach and she gave me a very difficult time. And she abused me, scolded me. Anytime she see me anywhere, she will make the whole family hate me. She will parade with them and talk about me. They will plot something against me. And it will be so. Even the kids, when they saw me, they would throw things to me. They would throw spit on me. It was a very difficult time for me, and I was crying all the time. And I remember that day I cried so much in the beach, and I was taken home. I was told, "Go home, Lucy, and have a rest." When I come back the following day, I found she fell down, and there was one Kenyan from my sponsor. Her sister was having one Kenyan. She said this is because she was mistreating Lucy, and Lucy was crying here, calling Jesus for rescue. And when I left, she fell down. But I didn't take it serious because I was feeling, yani, I don't want anything. I was feeling so down. I was feeling like I want to go back to my country. It's like these people has stopped on me, yeah, and they are standing on my way, and the sponsor will tell me, "I buy you 7,000 Saudi Arabian riyal, and you cannot go back in your country. You belong to me." And that thing started making me putting fear in me that these people have, yani, they own me now. So I remember after sleeping in the house, I go back to the beach. And when I opened the door of the beach house, the cabin, they call them cabin here. When I go inside, and they looked at me, it's like, "Where have you been? And who are you? And what kind of a person are you?" I go straight to the bedroom that we used to sleep. And I don't know what that woman was trying to do. She came to me, that old woman, she wanted to hug me. But when she came to hug me, her ribs cracked. Yani, it's like somebody make them, yeah, her ribs cracked. And then she come and she want to hug me, and she say, "Oh," I say, "What happened?" And everybody come, and they were looking at me like, "What are you doing to our grandma?" And she was held hand to hand. That day was taken to the. Actually, they put a bracelet. Yeah, they put something like a neck bracelet on her stomach, but the pain was too much. And that is when the Holy Spirit told me, "This woman is trying to finish you, but she's doing it on herself." And that is when I realized that. Now I will tell you that I said my guardian angel is on guard. And I remember they were not comfortable when I'm in the beach with them. So I was taken home before the time. And I was told to stay home by myself, and the whole family is in the beach. And I stay home. I was feeling lonely and afraid because this is not my family. This is a very big house. And I remember I cleaned the whole house from up down. It had 2 floors. And I remember when they come from the beach, she was so sick. And I remember one woman came to me and told me, "Lucy, are you angry with Mama?" I said, "No. I don't hold something in my heart a long time. And if I hold something in my heart, then it has hurted me so deeply that I cannot let go. I need to fast." And she told me forgive her. And the next day they take her to the hospital. They said her rib was broken. I don't know what they put something inside, because she had diabetes. They couldn't operate on her. And before that weekend, I had another fight with her. People came on that week, on Wednesday, to see her. And the people she have been attending to as a witch, they came. And I remember that day, I had a fasting. And we ate, and we ate at around 5 o'clock. From morning to 5 o'clock, I have not eaten anything. And in the morning of 5 o'clock, because we have worked so hard, tired, it is already morning and you have to wake up again at 8 o'clock, clean the house. So it was so difficult. So when I went straight to sleep, I go and get into deep sleep, which was unusual for me. And when I tried to sleep, I see the boy. There was a boy who used to carry that salsa. His name was Abudi. And I saw him coming near me and carrying a very big python snake. It was not a dream, it was a vision because I was not sleeping. Because I tried to wake up, I see like somebody's holding me back. And I could go, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. I want to stand up. I cannot stand up. And I remember that boy, for real, he played a game on me. He pushed the snake. He wanted the stomach of the snake and my stomach to attach on it on each other. And I told God, I cannot let my stomach touch the stomach of the snake. It was a fight between me and her. But I didn't know. This is one thing I'll teach you about being spiritual, because I'm not bragging about being spiritual, but I'm teaching you how to understand you as spiritual, and don't take it for granted. I'll teach you how to do it. I didn't know that they were in the living room trying to finish me. But I'm here sleeping, seeing it spiritually. And I wrestle with the boy, I fight with the boy until I pushed him and the snake landed on him and he fell down and I couldn't see them again, and I woke up and I was sweating and I said, my God, like a dream. I don't know what was it. But when I woke up, immediately I woke up, I heard the screaming. And I thought, this screaming, or am I imagining things? They were crying outside, because the moment I woke up and I defeated that demon, that is the moment a TV fall from a very big TV. It's not just a TV that you can say, it was like a cardboard, but it's a TV. I know some people has met that kind of TV in some homes. It's like a TV with its cabinet and drawers and everything. It fell down on a girl who was 9 years old. A girl who was a sister to the boy that I saw trying to put a snake on me. And the boy that was trying to pull a snake on me was the one who pulled the cupboard when they were praying. Because you know, Saudi Arabians, mostly they sleep in the morning. Like that family I was working with, they used to sleep in the morning. So what happened? The boy pushed the cupboard on his sister and it fell on her. So they thought she's dead. And I ignored the screaming, because we, like houseworks, we have these things of ignoring them because they ignore us. You know, these games, you know, it's good to speak the truth. I will not lie. Because sometimes you are sick, Saudi Arabian, some Saudi Arabian, not all. Some will ignore you, they don't care. They just listen to you, you just said you are sick and they just left. So I ignore and I went back to sleep. But within 2 minutes, I will not say 2 minutes or how many minutes, I don't know. Because I was starting to sleep. The same boy I saw in the dream came and called me, Lucy, Lucy, wake up, Wotin is dead. And I asked, what? Wotin is dead? And I woke up quickly. I was on my night dress and I ran in the living room and I found them all. Their mother, the one I was fighting with her all the time, and the woman, the mother of those kids, her daughter, and another niece of them there. But the thing is, when they saw me, they looked at me like, are you for real? And I was told to dress up because we are going to the hospital. No, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I went in my room, I dressed up, and I was told to carry the girl up. And I asked her mother, is she okay? She told me, they think she is broken all the part of the body, and today is Friday, and there is no doctors because in Saudi Arabia Friday some doctors come at around 1 in the afternoon like that. But the thing is, I felt the Holy Spirit come down on me and told me, this thing was supposed to happen to you. So what you will do is apply forgiveness and pray for them. And I pray in my heart for that girl, and I told her mother, the girl is not broken anywhere. You know, these people, they just look like you are a maid. You're just telling me something like, do you know anything? What the hell do you think you are? This is a design of some Saudi Arabians, and a big number. They despise the housekeepers. And they despise what I said. And they look at me like, yeah, we heard you. And I was like, you feel shame on you. And I take the kids and we go to the hospital. And I was holding her all that time. But she's 9 years old and she's in pain. And I started praying, interceding on her. The pain left and she started talking to me. And I remember that one doctor came. She was taken to to be scanned, and to my amazement, the doctor said there is not even one of her bones was broken. They didn't get surprised by what the doctor said. They looked at me and asked me. Her mother asked me, "How did you know the girl is not broken?" I told her, because I believe in God. And I thought that's the moment I started the warfare with the devil, a little warfare. And the reason I knew it was my war, I remember the doctor said that it's just a little sworn praise. We will just go down there and pay for some ointment and some pain relieving medicine. And on the way there, the girl, I was holding her like this, so she was putting her hand on my shoulder. She asked me, "Lucy, let me ask you something." I told her, "What?" "Why does everything that belongs to me happen to me?" I asked her, "Like what?" "Like now, this is not for me, it's for you." And I said that is a very difficult thing for somebody to say. So I knew these people has done something to try to finish me or something like that, and I ignored. But I ignored her, but I put it in my heart, and I started getting serious in prayers. And we go back home, and I finished my work as usual, and we continue with life. That week, I don't know what their mother did. I remember after that incident, I remember being told to clean all the house. Every time she will cook the food, she was telling me to take all the things. She will tell me, "Jibi kulu nzultaha sawi nadafa." Go downstairs, clean everything. I remember I have cleaned the house previous day, and I told her, "No, I will not go. I'm tired." Because I have noticed every time she's cooking, she wants me to go clean downstairs, and immediately I finished cleaning, they have eaten, and I will go back up and found dishes on the sink. So that day I said to myself, why can't I wait until they finish eating and I'll clean the dishes? I was feeling like, can you take me back to my country today? I went downstairs to my sponsor house and I found Indonesians and they gave me food. And I remember that day I come and I was like saying, now today I'm going to fight with this woman. I slept. When I was sleeping, I would see myself walking as a small beetle under the bed of that woman. I would go and I would remove everything under her bed and I would destroy her room. And me, I don't know what I would say because God loves me. When I'm sleeping, she has come. I'm deep in sleep, but she has come and she's standing on my door staring at me. That was their behavior because they told the housekeepers, don't ever lock your door. And it was a very difficult time, and she called me deep in the sleep. That's when I knew how we wrestle with the devil. She called me deep in the spirit and asked me, Esawi, and what are you doing? And I woke up surprised to find her standing there. And I asked myself, what's wrong with this woman? I tell her, can't you see I'm sleeping? She told me, stand up. Take everything we are going to clean. And I took everything. We started cleaning what we cleaned before. And I did the work I did in the morning again. And that week again, I go to sleep again and I dream the same dream. And I said, something's weird is happening here. But that day, when she woke up at the daytime, because she was sleeping that day, she didn't come check on me. She woke up, her legs, her knee were swollen. And she stayed in the room. I'll say I don't have this grace in me to check on the sick people. You know, sometimes we are too much on the, I love Jesus, He's my Savior. It's good to visit the sick people, but I don't have this grace of visiting them. Deep down in my pain, in my heart, I'm feeling for them and I pray for them. But I don't have this thing of visiting the sick and sympathizing with them. I will not lie to you. If it's medicine, I'll go buy for you. I'll cook for you. But I don't have this thing, oh my God, I kiss you, no. So I remember I made tea for her. No, I remember she called the Indonesians from the phone to me. She sent me and told me, go and call the Indonesians to make breakfast for me. She came and make breakfast for her. And the next round, she told me to make tea for her. She called her daughter and tell her, Lucy, she don't like me. But I didn't know she was sick. And I asked her daughter, why are you telling me I don't like your mother? She told me my mother is so sick and you don't go see her. I went to look at her and she told me to hug her. Within how many days? Like 1 week, she was sick and crawling in the house because she was demonically filled. She couldn't even stay in one place. She was manipulated because the work of the demon and demonic people and Illuminati people, if you want to know them more, when you're working in their house, they are overworking you. They don't let you sleep. Because that is the work of the demon, to make you tired so that you don't get time for yourself and to get you depressed. Because when you have depression, you cannot connect with God or communicate with God well, because God is a love stable mind. And I remember I continue with the warfare. I will make the story quick because my story is so long. Yeah, you have to endure. I remember I will continue with the fight. Remember downstairs, I have a fight with Indonesia. I remember I was working downstairs and upstairs and they are still there. I was misused. I remember as we continue, we go to Jurai. it was Ramadan time. So they left me alone in the house and they went to Upper. And I was told, you can go downstairs, your sponsor is downstairs, you can eat there. Everything was left there. But she left me with 50 riyal. And I remember the night when they left, I had this difficult time. And I went downstairs, I stayed with the Indonesian, they don't want me. I go back upstairs, I'm scared because the house is so big. I went down again, I come up again and I told God I will sleep here. But I was not feeling myself. When I took my mattress, because I had a mattress, I put it on the corner. When I was deep in sleep, I started having nightmares. I could see my sponsor son coming near me, passing by, doing stuffs and some laughter and scary things, and I was so scared. So what I did, I took my mattress and my blanket and I go back downstairs where I left. When I go, immediately I step downstairs and put my mattress. The wall of the sea, I mean the stone, there is a stone that, you see like this one here? This is sailing. You see that stone there? It fall down. Something, even them, they didn't understand how. It fall down from there and fall where I was sleeping, and there was a cupboard on this side. It was broken, and all the stone fall on where I placed my mattress. When I wake up in the morning, I heard Indonesia asking, "Did you hear something broke upstairs?" And I said, "No," because I was deep in sleep. And when they come back, they ask, where was it? What happened? Because they go to work. My sponsor went to work. And when she come back, she asked the Indonesians, what happened upstairs? We had something falling down. They were told that the stones fall on where Lucy sleep. And she looked at me with a very bad attitude, like I was supposed to be there when the death was about to take over me. I didn't understand that one, but I ignored. And I remember that the whole Ramadan, I used to go this home and that one, and that's why cleaning. And after the whole month of Ramadan, my sponsor mother come back. When she come back, I remember she told us, me and the other Kenyan, to clean her home because Kenyans are clean, and even the Indonesians say that Kenyans are very clean and neat. But she said she want me and the Kenyans to clean the house. I don't know. I didn't say the other tribes are not clean, but I know about African. African are so clean, and I remember we cleaned her house from 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I have kids. I have to check on kids and clean the house until the following day in the morning at 8. And I told the other Kenyan, wallahi, I'm not gonna clean this house again. And I'm going to sleep. When I go to sleep, she gets me. In the daytime, my sponsor called me and told me, Lucy, now I'm going to the beach. I want you to join me. Because the kids have nobody to stay with them. Because the Indonesians were not with visa, they were runaways. Like me now, I'm a runaway. So, when I told my sponsor mother that my kafir is calling me in the beach, she told me, you want to go to the bahar just to enjoy yourself. You love going. You aren't going anywhere. You are cleaning and you don't love work. I said to myself, this woman is sick. I cleaned from yesterday 5 o'clock and now when I take all the clothes, I put them down and I say, I'm not going anywhere now. You won't go back to Kenya. She was afraid because she was afraid of my sponsor because she was one who was helping her too much when she's sick, when she needs something like that. And she told me, now, what will happen is this. Either you choose to go to the beach or clean the house. And there was the niece of my sponsor told me, go to the beach because your sponsor is calling you. I remember going to the beach and my kafir mother lying to everybody that I slapped her, I beat her up. And that is a very serious case in Saudi Arabia. So some things not to be taken so easy. It's a very serious case in Saudi Arabia, saying that somebody was beating an old woman or a child. It's very dangerous. And when we come from the beach, everything, my clothes were thrown out. And I asked God, where am I going? These people are the people I know. And I remember my sponsor telling me, get out of my mother's house, come down and stay with me, and I'll give her the Indonesians. You know, this one was having a spiritual warfare with the Indonesians and the mother of my sponsor.